Dear viewers, today is May 5th, 2026. The Russian Federation is experiencing a defense crisis and a wave of strategic panic unlike anything seen since the darkest days of World War II. Today, missile alarms are sounding simultaneously in 18 different regions. The wail of sirens continues unabated across a vast territory, stretching from Moscow to the heart of Siberia. As oil refineries, massive factories, and critical logistics hubs go up in flames one by one, the Russian people are feeling the scorching breath of war more deeply than ever before. This is not merely a military operation. It is the surgical severing of Russia's economic lifelines. Ukraine's long-range missile and drone attacks have cost Russia a direct loss of $7 billion in oil revenue since January. This figure means that a significant portion of Russia's annual defense budget is turning into black smoke in the sky, vanishing before it even reaches the front lines to fire a single bullet. The Kremlin's financial backbone continues to creak and crack, sustaining more damage with every passing minute. One of the main targets of the attacks was the massive oil refinery in the strategically vital Leningrad region. The massive flames that rose following the drone attack at midnight prove just how vulnerable Russia's energy infrastructure, long considered untouchable, actually is. Putin's massive war machine runs on diesel. However, that diesel is now turning to ash in Russia's own secure storage facilities before it can cross the Ukrainian border and reach the front lines. This marks the most intelligent and destructive energy sabotage operation in history. Energy has ceased to be a geopolitical weapon for Russia. It has become a massive, costly target that must be protected. The Russian military's logistical gears are grinding to a halt one by one at every point where fuel resupply is impossible. Ukraine's strike range is no longer limited to border regions. It now reaches deep into the heart of Russia's industrial heartland. In Russia's interior, the massive strategic facilities in Cheboksary, considered the heart of heavy industry and military technology, are also within Ukraine's strike range. Amateur footage leaked from the scene revealed just how much Russian air defense systems are struggling and how cumbersome they are in protecting such deep-seated strategic facilities. Cheboksary is an irreplaceable hub producing critical components for the Russian military's most advanced equipment. Striking these facilities would mean permanent damage to the Russian military's technological supply chain and a halt to production lines. With every explosion, the Kremlin suffers an irreparable loss of technological capital and time. The Russian defense industry is entering a state of paralysis. Under US global leadership, European capitals have also begun to assume a more active and responsible role in the defense sector. Following the decision not to directly deploy Tomahawk missiles, calls are being made for European countries to jointly develop a new generation of long-range missiles with Ukraine. This situation enables transatlantic security to evolve into a more balanced, more collaborative, and technologically far stronger structure. When Europe's industrial production capacity combines with Ukraine's invaluable experience on actual battlefields, an insurmountable technological barrier emerges for Russia. This partnership signals the rebirth of the European defense industry through Ukraine's dynamism. On the Pacific front, a revolutionary development is unfolding that will go down in the history of the global defense industry. Japan is seriously considering providing direct funding to Ukraine to develop a new generation air defense system that could complement, or even replace, US-made Patriot systems. As one of the world's largest technology giants, Japan seeks to leverage Ukraine's engineering genius, tested daily on modern battlefields, to strengthen its own security. This is one of the most concrete and impressive examples in history of a synthesis between East and West in the global defense industry. Tokyo plans to strengthen its national security architecture not only with traditional systems, but also with Kiev's dynamic and battle-proven software. Following Tokyo's historic decision to relax its arms export regulations, the path for Ukraine to acquire advanced technology weapons and equipment from Japan has been fully opened. As Japan shifts its defense industry toward a more global perspective, it views Ukraine's flexible and results-oriented engineering as a major strategic opportunity. This move is the clearest evidence that traditional structures in the global arms market are giving way to a more collaborative and high-tech focused framework. The renowned precision of Japanese technology, combined with Ukraine's field experience, establishes an absolute technological superiority over Russia's cumbersome and outdated systems. This marks the birth of a new security axis stretching from the Pacific to the Black Sea. Today, Ukraine is not merely a buyer or a victim in the global arms market. It has become a strategic game changer. While Russia's outdated, 20th-century cumbersome logistics models lose billions of dollars every day, Ukraine is writing the 21st-century doctrine of war firsthand on the battlefield with modern autonomous systems that can be updated at any moment. Ukraine's military-industrial complex now serves as a massive laboratory, setting the new industrial standards for the Western world. This rise is permanently shifting global defense balances against Russia, while transforming Kyiv into a technology hub. Once a nation awaiting aid, Ukraine has now become a giant teaching the world a lesson in defense technology. The massive loss of $7 billion in Russian oil revenues is not merely a matter of a budget deficit. This situation is completely shattering the image of a reliable energy supplier that Russia has built over decades, along with the political influence based on that image. It now seems impossible for an energy giant that cannot even protect its own strategic refineries from simple drone attacks to act as a game changer in global markets. Ukraine's precise strikes are leading to a complete reshuffling of the cards in energy geopolitics and Russia's exclusion from this strategic table. The energy card is no longer a trump card in the Kremlin's hand. It is turned into a ticking time bomb. Future wars will no longer be won by those with the most tanks or artillery. They will be won by those with the best software, the fastest algorithms, and the most dynamic update capabilities. Ukraine's drone and missile systems are reprogrammed, debugged, and improved every night using real-time data from the battlefield. This is a digital speed that Russia's cumbersome, bureaucratic, and corrupt defense industry can never match. The software-centric defense concept renders Russia's million-dollar cumbersome hardware ineffective in a matter of minutes. By championing this digital revolution on behalf of the free world, Ukraine is fundamentally transforming the nature of war. For our American viewers, we must reiterate and emphasize this point. The technological superiority Ukraine has achieved today is a direct result of the high-tech intelligence and tactical support provided by the United States. Every element, from the advanced radar data provided by Washington to satellite connections, is among the unseen architects of these victories. The Ukrainian military is a loyal ally that embodies the US's historical mission as the arsenal of democracy, with the highest level of professionalism on the battlefield. This success is, in fact, the most concrete proof of how well-placed American taxpayers' investment in a free future truly is. American strategic acumen, combined with Kyiv's courage, is creating a miracle. Europe views the call for joint missile development with Ukraine not only as a military opportunity, but also as a major economic and technological one. This partnership will shift the continent's defense spending to a far more efficient, sustainable, and technology-focused foundation. When Ukraine's unique battlefield experience combines with Europe's high industrial capacity, an unstoppable force emerges against Russia. Europe is now taking greater responsibility for its own security, and in this historical process, Ukraine is emerging as the continent's most critical defense partner. This collaboration is reshaping the European defense industry according to the realities of the 21st century. Why can't damaged Russian refineries and strategic factories like Cheboksary be repaired even months later? Because Western sanctions have completely cut off Russia's access to the high-tech parts and precision machinery used in these facilities. Since Russia lacks the technological infrastructure or engineering expertise to produce these parts on its own, every successful attack leaves behind permanent and irreparable damage. This situation indicates that the Russian industrial sector has now entered a systemic collapse and an irreversible process of technological paralysis. The Kremlin's industrial machine is collapsing in on itself because it cannot find the necessary parts. Russia's traditional arms buyers are watching the smoke rising from Leningrad and Cheboksary with great concern and disappointment. The question, how will the air defense systems we purchase from a country that cannot even protect its own strategic facilities protect us against our enemies, is now echoing in every capital. The massive void left by Russia in the global arms market is being rapidly filled by Ukraine and technology-focused Western allies. This marks the reshaping of a trillion-dollar market in favor of the free world and democratic values. Russian weapons are now viewed as technological relics. To summarize, dear viewers, Putin's $7 billion oil fantasy is now turning into rusty scrap, thanks to Kiev's unwavering engineering and the strategic support of the West, led by the US. Japan's financial power and Europe's defense vision are the most crucial elements cementing this victory. The US's resolute leadership and the Ukrainian military's tactical genius are not merely winning a war, they are building a safer and more technologically advanced world order. Sirens blaring simultaneously across 18 regions are not merely a warning of a drone attack. They are the mournful funeral march of a cumbersome and corrupt imperial doctrine. Stay tuned and keep your geopolitical compass aligned with ours. Stay with strategy and freedom.